steamrolled VG there, but there's no real way of knowing that. So.
And their items haven't progressed a whole lot since then. Again, we saw the TA buyback, so she hasn't been able to pick anything up past the MKB. Dry Ranger is still at MKB as well, so.
I mean, for what it's worth, they can still kill Gyro if they can get that meld off on him and beat on him with the TA. TA and Dro actually do absurd amounts of damage right now.
He's going to grab somebody mid though. Shadow Demon Shiva's guard as well, puts him down low, and he's going to force staff down. A little surprised why Batrider did that. None of his allies were even close to that, so.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. I mean, it's only a 50-second CD, I guess, if the lane's pushed out that far. I think it was still a mistake. I feel like VG could try to make something happen here still, but it's better than just grabbing an illusion, because at least Shadow Demon got a bit lower there. Well, and he's earned up as I say that, so he did, yeah.
Treads up on Leshrac now. DPS monster right here for right click.
He really is. 150 damage is respectable. It's really surprising how much supports do with just the right clicks.
Yeah. Every little amount really does pay off. The downside is, of course, they've got evasion. It's a Lincoln Sphere, actually, on Gyrocopter. And he has a Satanic. Where do all these items come from? Sells Shadow Blade, picks up a Lincoln's, and grabs a Satanic. Lincoln's obviously to stop the Batrider ulti.
It's pretty smart if you think about it, because now nothing goes through BKB. They can't get rid of... Oh, you can Rubik steal through BKB, actually. So if they do this perfectly, then you can use Spell Steal to proc the Lincolns.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And then Batrider on him. But what's the chances that Rubik's going to get close enough to him without dying to just flak? I mean, he has a Ghost Scepter, but it's still really hard. Rubik's not exactly the most mobile hero. Gyro's pretty fast.
Yeah, he does have a pretty low movement speed, especially when Gyro still has phase boots and a little bit of drum movement speed from allies. It's going to be tough. As
far as I know, he actually hasn't revealed the fact that his Lincoln Sphere. So if they go in, they smoke, they fight, I believe Gyro will just ulti him and waste it in this fight. Yeah,
if they can get the Batrider ulti wasted like that, it could be a huge swing, because they should be able to kill Batrider shortly afterwards. Batrider still doesn't have magic immunity or anything, just as Shiva's guard, so he's got a lot of physical protection, but not a whole lot towards burst stuns or anything. So it could swing the fight pretty nicely for them.
Yeah. And two players here from Neska are probably having some connection issues. I love Leshrak's items. He just has 3 bracers. Goes up there.
What year is it?
It's been a while since I saw that, huh? I think that getting another drums would have been nice on him. TA actually had to sell hers, so they don't actually have drums right now, I think. And drums is just, it's just a good item. Being able to pop down in a team fight is quite a bit of DPS coming out.
And it's an extra 15 movement speed for all the heroes, just base with or without the charges, so that can make the difference sometimes. You never really know. A lot of Ghost Scepters, really good items in this game, I would say. 51-minute game, and if we look at the gold graph as well, see how close this is. Fortunately, the pause is in the way, but it's very close.
That guy was actually like stupidly farmed though. If you just
500 last hits, even 500, perfect time to pause. He's just screenshotting it. That's all he wanted.
Probably,
to do
huh? You know, something that he can actually do right now, since he has a Wisp that I've seen before, is he can actually sell his phase boots for something like a MiTH.Trust style.
He's pretty fast. Yeah, I mean, they could.
I mean, at this, like, mid-game fights, you want to be really mobile. These late-game fights, it's more like, hey, I want to be a hammer and just be able to dish out that DPS. And something like a MiTH.Trust style would really help with that. Because even without phase boots, he's
going to lose, what, 55 here?
Well, he loses 55. Well, he has phase. He doesn't even have phase.
He has tether right now. That's
okay, he has tether on a drum, so that 55 sort of becomes what, like 80 move speed. He'll still be moving at 420.
Yeah, probably like 400. Yeah, at least. That's not bad.
With the tether on, that's
an extra damage item.
That's still fast. That's faster than any of the Radiant heroes other than TA, I believe, or TA with phase popped.
Although the damage of a treads is, or the attack speed at least of a treads is comparable to a MiTH.Trust style, so it would be giving him like 15 extra damage, but and the illusions.
It's a lot. It's more attack speed. Is it more attack speed even?
Treads is 25. MiTH.Trust is like about 30. I think it's like 29 or something like that.
Okay. So oh, they actually buff treads to 30. It was relatively recent. Really? Yeah, they actually buffed that. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. MiTH.Trust style, it's better defensively though, and you do get that plus extra to HP, the extra damage, and being able to like just when they go on you, you can just manta. It makes it harder to grip you. It makes it harder to DPS you. They don't really have a lot of AOE on the Radiant side to kill that down. They have some, but
I think they're gonna spot the Batrider. They do see the Firefly, so they know which way. He actually ran by the creeps as well using Shiva's guard. He's got his TP scroll ready to go. Are they gonna be able to get him? They've used
Spirits, if he gets out here, that's actually very good for.
He's got to know what's up.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh.
Oh man, he's gonna get grabbed. Disruption
his
snakes
blink
him.
CD.
That was his TP, I think. It's over. He is so getting killed here, unless he can blink in 6 seconds. But the call down, and he goes down. That's a gem of true sight as well. I'm really surprised he didn't escape that. They used the spirits next to his creeps. He should have seen that. They even like pulled the creeps into the jungle a bit, and he took forever to use his teleport scroll. He didn't even have to buy it side shop. He had it in his inventory.
CTY just blind poisoned him, and
is that what happened?
Yeah, he just blind poisoned him where he blinked.
But he could have TP'd.
He could have just TP'd right away. He could have blinked away from them.
Yeah.
It's weird that happens.
It's like he has Batrider map packs.
Stuff happens, and
like
Batrider actually has to spend his buyback here because Roshan's coming up. So that's a really, really good pick-off. It's something that I feel probably shouldn't have happened, but sometimes stuff just happens in Dota like that. Like you think, hey, I can waste a bit more of their time here, and then you're like, whoa, he just poisoned me from fog. Hey, look, I'm dead. And shit, man.
That's pretty rough at the TI3 Eastern qualifiers, that's for sure. It's be a mistake that haunts his dreams. They're actually thinking about going in mid. 4,000 gold on Gyrocopter now, and the rest of the supports are also sitting. No new item progression on Shadow Demon. See if there's anything else. So many items. Vlad's on Visage.
Something that I would really like to happen here is that they give the Wisp a little bit of space to farm buyback. He stops my items for it, because what happens if one of the carries on VG buys back or dies? Oh, here comes a...
Oh, that Yule's reaction time for CTY. He is going to be able to ulti the Batrider to keep someone on the fight for just a bit, but a silence on Castle. He hasn't yet popped his BKB. There it is. Will he just take the kills? 4 seconds on a Leshrac, but a perfect Ghost Scepter activation. He still goes down regardless, and Gyrocopter is just right-clicking. Flat Cannon on cooldown for 6 seconds, but it's not even going to matter. 4 dead heroes. Rubik runs for his life. He TPs back out, and 2 buybacks on carry heroes for the raiding team. Well, so Vici is going to be able to take a free Roshan.
I was going to say if the carry dies and Wisp dies, he can buy back and TP him in, but apparently that doesn't matter because no one in VG ever dies.
Yep, just the Visage. No one cares about him.
I care.
He's got a... Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have a Rod of Atos, though. He's got a Vlad's. That's going to make his bats a little harder to kill. 5 armor and damage.
The 15 damager is also just very nice. I wonder... the supports are sort of unable to get a Vlad's on the Radiant side, which actually really hurts them. That 15% is like another 30 damage on Joe Ranger. It's another, I can't math, like 25 damage on the TA. And with the Jorah, it just really adds up. Like even the supports will hit extra hard. And hey,
and the 5 armor versus Flat Cannon.
That Rubik has phase boots.
Really? he heard your comments about being extra slow.
He needs treads. So he can DPS with that drawer.
Treads plus the drawer would be really good. Overcharge on Gyrocopter is really scary. He's got 6,000 gold in the bank. Drow's trying to pull the creeps past, but the tower goes down. Melee Barracks is being pressured as well. Can they fight this? Batrider's on cooldown for 16 seconds, and another disconnect from CTY here on the Shadow Demon. He's got Cheese, who's got the Aegis. It's Aegis on Chaos Knight, because we both know Gyrocopter is not going to die. It's Satanic Lincoln's BKB. Like,
that's pretty
and
ridiculous.
A Butterfly. That's like 4 half-tank items. And then he's got an MKB. Not the highest damage dealer, but he's just so difficult to pick off here.
I mean, he doesn't even need that much damage. He's a Garo. And he has, like, Disruption. He has Wisp Portal. He has the CK2 tank for him. And look at that. They go on him, Disrupted, pops BKB, takes some racks.
Doesn't even care about the opponents. Hasn't even used Flat Cannon.
Zero
he's like,
cares
I'm
given.
Just going to right-click your
I
racks.
feel like he should have used Flat Cannon there when he was so close to racks. Just because he could have gotten the support so low, it would be hard for sort of Mineski to find the pickoff as VG runs, which is really their best chance. Because I feel like if they just continue to farm it out, like, Wisp has buyback now. They're fighting 2 Gyros, 2 CKs, 2 Wisps, and Shadow Demon, who has been on, like, he's just been so spot on with his reactions.
Yeah, he really has.
And Visage, one of the most imba heroes in Dota. Okay, I'm gonna stop calling him imba because I think someone from the cast will actually think, like, they'll be new to Dota. I'm like, hey, I gotta pick Visage every game, and he's sort of hard to play.
Yeah, sort of, I think, is an understatement. Got to cast 1 spell every 4 seconds, micro your birds perfectly, and not feed. Pretty tough sometimes. He is a great hero though, and obviously seeing him play to support is always really fantastic. A lot of support items, lots of wards, things like that. And Wisp even is super farmed. Look at this plate mail. And a mech, and gems, and urn, and everything. He's got to be really happy with his items right now.
I really love it that they ran Wisp as the 4 instead of Visage. I feel that Wisp needs items. The longer a Wisp stays in a fight, the more he does. He just does actually so much in team fights.
Yeah.
Just because Overcharge makes your carry super strong. We actually forgot to mention, it's not even just a Lincoln's BKB, Butterfly, Satanic Arrow. It's a Lincoln's, autos items, with the Overcharge damage
Pretty much a Spectre right now. More or less.
Yeah.
Plus damage.
Pretty much 20%. That's a lot of extra EHP. That's like, I don't even want to calculate the HP right now. It's too hard.
All right, there's
But
the
it's
split
high.
from Chaos Knight. They're just going to go high ground. If they just take the racks, it's pretty much over here. There's no way they can stop the counter push. BKB, no, I'm sorry, that's just overcharge. He goes in, 4 seconds stun on the Rubik. He pops
That's
the BKB, trying
Rubik.
to stop the TA. He's right-clicking. BKB is used. Shadow Demon trying to stay alive. Pops Ghost Scepter, and there's just not a whole lot of ways the Radiant team can stop them at this point.
Oh, here's a grip on the Gyro, but immediate Eel Scepter. It actually stopped the Force Staff.
That was
He
so good.
cast an Eel Scepter on during Force Staff.
And Batrider running for his life now as VG
Hey, they're
is trying
bringing
to
down
finish
Gyro.
off. Wow, Gyro actually does go down. He can die. It's possible. He buys back immediately, sells his boots. Going to be purchasing boots of travel and teleporting in. Hopefully grabs a safe creep. He's teleporting to the top lane, and he's back into the fight. Great stun from Leshak. He tried to stop the TP. That would have been huge, but he's not going to be able to. The mid-rax is going to go down. That's going to be Mega Creeps. Good game is called from the Radiant team. They know they can't stop it with just a TA at this point. And that's going to be game 1. Vici Gaming is going to take game 1 versus Mineski here in Group B.
I mean, at the end of the day, at least they killed the raid boss at the end, but he had Reincarn. That's sort of imba.
Hey, it's got to feel good. We got him at least once, guys. Despite all these super imba items, we were able to take him down. And Drow actually did kind of okay in DPS in the late game, but she just never really got the item progression
Joel actually
down.
really surprised me. Being that crippled, she did a lot of damage this game.
Yeah, she really did do a nice job.
And I just want to say, if you saw that Rubik in the team fight, he got the Ghost Scepter off, so he's like, yeah, I'm wasting so much of this time. And he got 4 seconds stun, and he waited the entire 4 second stun, just sitting there waiting for a Gyro to hit him. That's probably the most depressing feeling. Just waiting to die.
Better for him to take the damage
I guess.
than one of his allies. So pretty impressive game from Vici Gaming, but a lot closer than we were expecting. A lot of weird heroes and back and forth play. Ganks going all over the place, and a great way to start off the series. So yeah, how did you guys think over on the desk?
Wow. CK
Yeah.
Wisp,
What a game.
they win.
And I think one thing that was really important was just Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger, a hero that we don't see often, and most of the time she actually ends games very, very early. And she's very, very good in push lineups. That Precision Aura that Purge and Aoi were talking about most of the game, that thing just absolutely crushes towers if you ever get the chance to push. But they were just, from the get-go, very, very defensive. The triple lane lost out pretty heavily, I must say. Drow Ranger unable to get any sort of CS, and she was forced into this sort of just like comeback build where very defensive BKB first and then Precision Aura and Silence. But late game, she doesn't have any AoE. How are you going to stop the illusions? You have TA, very single target focused hero, and Drow, another single focused target hero, and just they didn't have enough damage to deal with the
Went for
illusions.
Mask of Madness. Problem is, Flat Cannon's still splashing through no matter who you're focusing, no matter where you are. The Flat Cannon's going to be hitting you with that 1000 AoE. Took too much damage in the fights. Mask of Madness is not going to help you there. And I actually think I showed a few times the stats on Drow Ranger. That's twice now where she just doesn't win many games past 30 minutes. That drops her record, I believe, to 1-6 in a game over 35 minutes.
Right.
And that hero on the flip side is, I think, 10-1 in games that are less than 35 minutes. So
Yeah, I think she works really well in like Chen push strategies or anything like that where you can just have all the breathing room you want, but it's just really hard to fit her in that sort of lineup. But I mean, I think they had the right idea. They were, okay, we're going to try and win all 3 lanes. Bat should win his, TA should win his, and we can try and just eke out maybe a wash on bottom and then just start taking out towers around the place and just force them to 5-man, where CK is actually not that strong at. But they had way too many items up on the gyrocopter, but it was still a very close game. Mineski gave them a very good run for their money, I must say.
I thought Vici Gaming was going to come out a little faster and hotter out of the gate than that, to be honest. I felt Mineski played well. Jay in particular on the Batrider, even early game we saw, saved his lasso, didn't use it to get that kill, was able to set up additional kills. I think he had like an 11-minute blink or a 12-minute blink as an off-lane Batrider. That's really good. Problem was, their lineup just wasn't built to go late against CK
Right.
Wisp, a Gyro who got that amount of farm. They were never going to take it late unless Vici Gaming made some big mistakes. So guys, that wraps it up for game 1, but of course this is a best of 3. The last Pinoy hope is Mineski. They are in Group B, locked in it with Vici Gaming. Now they drop to 0-1 in the best of 3. If they lose this match, they'll be done until tomorrow. If Vici Gaming, however, lose this game, then we'll go to a deciding game 3. It's a best of 3. Coming up next will be game 2. Stay tuned for that.
My spirit may be locked in ice, but my rage still burns. Takes you
10-man battle plan. I am a can of whoop-ass. Shut your trap.
Hey guys, welcome back. You just saw game 1 of MiTH.Trust versus Vici Gaming, and ended up with a victory for Vici after a very hard-fought win. What are you expecting to see in game 2?
I was actually surprised by how well MiTH.Trust played. They
Yeah, me too.
Did CK West even get a proper TP off, or I think they got one off at top, right?
They did. I think they did really well in their lane, and then wasn't the first gank on the top lane? It was like as soon as Wisp hit 6, he ganked top, and they got a double kill on the Wisp CK. So like
they
all
got
of
and
that
they killed
advantage.
the Gyro, I think too. That's
Yeah,
like,
I think so. It was like a triple kill
yeah,
swing. It was
0
really
for 3.
huge.
So that's weird. I mean, they got that one good one, I think, where they TP'd right onto the TA. But even that, I think ZSMJ did an ulti right away, and TA got to actually down drop. But it was sort of surprising to not see a Wisp CK gank at all. I mean, there's sort of opportunities at some point, but the Wisp it opened up a lot of space for the guy to farm at the very least. I think that's one of the strengths of the heroes. Even if he's not getting those pickoffs, it's very hard to farm against them. And that was sort of reflected in the fact that Garo had 10k on everyone.
Yeah, he had insane last hits throughout the entire course of the game, and it was also a lot of him not dying. Shadow Demon saved him how many times? That reaction speed was insane, and then he just even covered that with a Yule Scepter, even in case if he wasn't ready
Yule
for
Scepter is
disruption.
actually sick. Like casting
works
something
a
during
lot.
the Force Staff.
Does it disrupt him? Is it kind of like
it stops the Force
telekinesis
Staff.
on leap and stuff?
Yeah.
Just like, that's awesome. That's a really good counter then.
Yeah,
That's something
it
I haven't
is.
even seen before. And despite having a really rough early game, he started off like 0, 2, and 2. He was still able to get core items and make a big impact throughout the entire game. It was nice to have the Yules up, and I mean, that was a little bit, like 1 or 2 items more than a typical support would have, but it paid off.
One thing that I really don't know about that game was that Bat Rider sort of lost to Garo, and he had the Joe Aura. I really would have liked him to see him put extra points in the stick and play more aggressive in that lane, and that would have helped out a lot. But regardless, I think that MiTH.Trust, really good showing. They definitely have a chance of taking this game.
Yeah, that was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, honestly. Everybody was saying, oh, MiTH.Trust is towards the bottom of the 8, and Vici Gaming is one of the best, but I think they did really fantastic. So I think we're just about to get ready for game 2. Keep in mind, guys, if MiTH.Trust ends up losing this game, they'll go 0-2 in this round. They'll go back down. They'll have to play tomorrow on the verge of elimination, so they definitely do not want to get kicked out here if possible. Whoever wins this best of 3 is going to be put on to play the winners of the previous set earlier today, and if whoever wins that doesn't have to play tomorrow at all, they're covered. They're going to make it all the way through till day 3 of
and
this
that's
group.
really what you want in a qualifier that's this high level.
Yeah, it really is. You want as little chance as possible of ending up being able to lose. So hopefully for them, either team, of course, they can fight and win this one. But MiTH.Trust has got to win the next 2 games, otherwise they're going to get eliminated. At least until tomorrow.
Drop down to the lower
Drop
bracket.
down, eliminated.
Eliminated from the winner bracket.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
Pretty much the same thing. So, thank you. Thank you.
OD is mean.
Yeah, he's so mean, man.
He really is.
Okay.
But he's nicer than Merlini.
Whoa. See this first ban here. Are we seeing some ice, ice, ice strat? They're going to ban not real heroes. That's what it seems like. We haven't seen Spectre picked
I
at
love
all.
Spec too.
Unless they just knew MiTH.Trust.
Everyone keeps saying that. Oh, whatever.
I don't know.
The heroes I love aren't that good. You know, no one wants to get on the Visage bandwagon with
I didn't
me.
realize you love Spectre as well. Who else
And-
aren't you telling us about?
Who are my hidden lovers? There's Blitz.
Okay.
And then there's I don't know.
He'll be ported one of these days. I don't know why Ice Frog's taking so long.
Yeah.
Okay, Shadow Demon's gonna get banned. That's a real ban. But
That's a real man.
But why Spectre? They did that immediately. They hopped in and they were like, Spectre ban.
I really don't want to say that's a misclick, but I'm like even checking chat to see if they're like, please
Nothing.
let us. But maybe really weird pocket shot from Mineski, something that they do. Because I always feel like Spec can be quite a good hero. Maybe they even have a pocket shot that's really countered by Spec, but that's sort of rare. Like Spec is. He's a really strong mid-game hero if he can get early farm up. You get a Drumslam, you get Treads or Trankos, you get a PMS, and you max Desolate first, and your illusions hit for like 100 damage at 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's really strong, especially when you stack movement speed
Yeah.
items. It's really hard to get away.
Something that's sort of cool is that Specs, all the illusions start at 400 MS,
Oh, that's right.
and then they get Boots MS, and then they get more extra, so that they're able to catch up in the mid game when people don't move that fast, so they can really do that damage. And that their banning out of the Spectre sort of paid off for them. Blyster, I think, is mostly regarded as basically one of, if not the most broken hero in the Eastern scene right now.
Yeah, and even in the Western scene, he's drafted all the time. His rage lasts for 6 seconds. He's been
Woo!
buffed recently. Woohoo!
Visage.
Open
good.
Wounds is really good in a tri-lane situation. The only kinds of heroes that counter it are blinkers or invis heroes with max movement speed like Weaver. So he's really good at all stages of the game. Great for tri-laning aggressively, great for safe laning. He can be all over the place, and that's why he is getting fit for Spectre.
And he's actually quite a good solo, to be honest.
Against certain heroes.
Against certain heroes. And you sort of get to pick your matchups, right? Even if he's a battle, you can sort of do that entire, like, you solo him short lane, your support from the tri-lane aggressive can get an early TP, TP down, as you get an unexpected gank with that really long range open wounds initiate.
And it's Gyrocopter Batrider, so at least Team Mineski is going to have some way to shut down Lifestealer in team fights. Again, Flaming Lasso goes through Magic Immunity, so that's going to catch a Lifestealer whether or not he rages. And that even though it doesn't seem like that much, you can say, okay, Flaming Lasso only covers a couple of the seconds of his rage, but it's seriously a big deal. Because as soon as your rage runs out, Lifestealer becomes like any other semi-tanky hero. I mean, you can get chain stunned, and it really prevents you from doing damage.
Hits like a truck and moves really fast.
Yes,
but
exactly.
yes.
And you can stop that.
Yeah, for sure. And, well, rage is what makes Lifestealer so ridiculously strong. Something else that is sort of cool with the first two picks of Batrider Garrus ulti, the slow actually goes through rage. Sticky, if it's applied after rage, it also goes through. They have Flame Lasso, so their heroes are actually quite good against Leicester as it is right now. The first two picks up, Rubik he's okay versus Leicester just because you have that instant pickup if you can get a blink there or something like that. If he rages at you, sometimes you can steal rage and manage to be super imbuff for 6 seconds.
Or unkillable. I mean, free BKBs on supports, especially early game, that's always going to be very useful.
And I sort of like this Meg pickup. It means that they don't always get to just Flaming Lasso the Nyx every fight, or Lifestealer. They sort of have another super high priority target for that Lasso. And if they lasso that Lifestealer, you're probably going to get a good RP off. But they do pick up the Rubik, which is